Did you know there are debts you may never have to pay again? For many older adults, this truth comes as both a shock and a relief. You may have spent years faithfully sending money to collectors, believing you had no choice, when in fact the law says otherwise. The reality is, thousands of seniors across the country are still handing over their limited retirement income to cover debts that no longer hold legal weight. And what makes this worse is that many collectors know this, but continue to pressure people, hoping fear will outweigh knowledge. Today, we will go through 6 specific types of debts that lawyers consistently warn seniors not to keep paying. These are debts where the law is on your side, even if a collector on the phone tries to tell you otherwise. We'll explain why these debts lose their power, how they trap so many older adults, and what you can do if you're being harassed about them. Each point will build your confidence, replacing fear with knowledge and control. So, if you've been worried about debts eating away at your retirement, take a deep breath. You're about to learn 6 important truths that can change the way you handle debt forever. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Old medical bills beyond collection. For many seniors, medical bills have piled up over the years, sometimes from a surgery, a hospital stay, or an emergency visit. You may feel pressure every time a letter arrives, but what most people don't realize is that old medical debt has an expiration date. Each state sets a statute of limitations on how long a hospital, clinic, or collector can legally sue to recover payment. For some states, it may be 3 years, for others, 6. And once that time passes, the debt loses its legal bite. That doesn't mean collectors stop calling, but it does mean you are not obligated to pay anymore. Here's why this matters. Many seniors fear that unpaid medical bills will eat into their Social Security checks. The truth is, by federal law, Social Security benefits are protected from most creditors. Hospitals cannot dip into that money no matter how much they threaten. This knowledge alone can ease a huge burden because it separates reality from fear tactics. And it's not just about your money, it's about protecting your dignity. Consider Margaret, a 74-year-old widow who once paid hundreds of dollars each month to cover a hospital bill from nearly a decade ago. She thought she had no choice. When a legal aid attorney finally explained that her state's statute of limitations had already expired years earlier, she realized she could have kept that money for her medications and daily living. That single piece of knowledge changed her life. So if you are still receiving collection calls about very old hospital or doctor bills, pause before paying another cent. Ask, how old is this debt? And has the legal time limit already passed? If it has, you may already be free. This is not about avoiding responsibility, it's about using the rights that exist to protect seniors who have already given so much. And once you see this clearly, you'll understand that not every bill in your mailbox deserves your money. Number 2. Old credit card debt that's time-barred. Credit cards can feel like a lifeline during tough times. But for many seniors, those balances linger long after the card has been cut up. What you may not know is that just like medical bills, credit card debt also has a statute of limitation. Once that period expires, lenders lose the legal power to sue for repayment. Collectors might still send letters or make phone calls, but they rely on your fear and lack of knowledge to squeeze money out of you. If the time has run out, the debt becomes what lawyers call time-barred, which means you do not have to pay it. The trap many older adults fall into is accidentally restarting the clock. In most states, making even a tiny payment or admitting the debt is yours can reset the statute of limitations, suddenly giving collectors the right to sue again. That's why it's so important not to rush when someone pressures you over the phone. Take your time, verify the age of the debt, and know your rights. Think of Robert, a 78-year-old retired bus driver who was hounded daily by collection agencies about a card he had stopped using over 15 years earlier. They demanded thousands, threatening lawsuits and wage garnishment. But once he spoke with a legal clinic, he learned the debt had long since expired under his state's law. He stopped paying, The calls eventually ended, and his social security remained untouched. That knowledge gave him back both his peace of mind and his sense of control. If you're dealing with old credit card bills, remember this: time is often on your side. The companies may have had years to take action, but if they fail to do so within the legal window, that power is gone. You don't need to live in fear of every ring of the phone. You need to know that the law protects you more than you think. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Certain private student loans. Many people assume that student loans follow you to the grave, but the truth is more complicated. While federal student loans come with their own strict rules, certain private student loans can actually expire under the statute of limitation. Just like credit card or medical debt, if you or even your children took out loans years ago and they have been in default for a long time, lenders may no longer have the legal ability to sue for repayment. This doesn't mean they won't try to pressure you, but the law often stands on your side if enough time has passed. Another important point is what happens upon death. Federal student loans are typically discharged when the borrower passes away, and in many cases, private loans also cannot be collected from surviving spouses or children unless they co-signed. Seniors often worry their children will be burdened with this debt, but unless they are legally tied to it, the responsibility usually dies with the borrower. Knowing this can relieve a lot of unnecessary guilt and stress. Let's look at an example. Linda, an 82-year-old grandmother, spent years scraping together money to pay on an old private student loan she had taken decades ago for a teaching certificate she never used. She was afraid her grandchildren would inherit the debt if she didn't keep paying. After speaking to a non-profit attorney, she discovered the loan was uncollectible because the statute of limitations had passed, and even if it hadn't, her grandchildren could not be held responsible. That realization gave her permission to finally let go and focus her limited income on daily needs. For many older adults, the fear of leaving behind debt is greater than the debt itself. By understanding that some private student loans can expire, and that most do not transfer to family, you can stop living under the weight of a bill that has no power over your future. The relief of knowing you can legally walk away is more than financial, it's emotional freedom too. Number 4. Certain personal loans from friends or family. Among the hardest debts for seniors to carry are the personal loans once borrowed from a neighbor, a cousin, or even an old friend. Many older adults still carry guilt over not being able to repay, even decades later. But legally, if these personal loans were never formalized in writing, or if they have aged far beyond the statute of limitations, they are debts you can release yourself from. No one can take you to court or legally force repayment of a handshake loan from long ago. Collectors may not be involved in these situations, but the weight often sits heavier on your own conscience. Seniors replay conversations from years past, feeling they owe something that no longer has any standing in law. The truth is, life happens. Families face illness, job losses, or unexpected expenses. If the debt was never pursued formally and time has long passed, the law considers it closed. Holding on to that guilt serves no one and drains the peace you deserve in your later years. Take the story of Helen, an 81-year-old who still worried about $50 she borrowed from a church friend back in the 1970s. That friend had since passed away, yet Helen felt ashamed as if she had failed in her responsibility. When her daughter explained that the debt was legally and practically gone, Helen cried with relief. She finally understood that she had carried an unnecessary burden for over 40 years. As seniors, we must remember that forgiveness also applies to ourselves. Carrying invisible chains of old, unenforceable debts only diminishes the joy of the years we have left. Let the law and time close the book for you. You've already given so much to your families and communities. You have the right to lay down the weight of debts that no longer exist. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, Please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Expired medical debts. Medical bills can be some of the scariest pieces of mail to open. For many older adults, a single hospital stay or unexpected procedure years ago left behind stacks of unpaid balances that never seemed possible to catch up on. But what many seniors do not realize is that just like other consumer debts, medical bills also come with a statute of limitation. After a certain number of years, depending on the state, those old balances cannot be enforced in court. Hospitals and clinics often sell these unpaid accounts to third-party collectors who may call with urgency, warning you of consequences if you do not pay right away. Their words can stir guilt and fear, especially if you were raised to believe every bill must be paid no matter what. Yet, the reality is that an expired medical debt is legally uncollectible. No one can garnish your social security check or seize your home over it. And in most cases, hospitals cannot deny you future care because of debts from the past. Take the case of Margaret, an 82-year-old widow. She received a frightening notice for a hospital bill from 1998, demanding thousands of dollars she didn't have. After speaking with a senior legal counselor, she learned the debt was long past its enforceable life. That single phone call gave her back her nights of sleep and freed her from a burden she thought would haunt her forever. The truth is, seniors should be protecting their present health, not punishing themselves for medical costs that time and the law have already closed the book on. Knowing your rights not only saves money, but restores dignity. You work too hard for your security to let expired debts take it away. Number 6. Utility bills after death. Many seniors worry that if they pass away, unpaid household bills like electricity, gas, or water will fall directly on their loved ones. Collectors may even hint at this, pressuring family members into covering balances that were never theirs to begin with. The truth is, once the account holder dies, unpaid utility bills do not automatically transfer to children or spouses unless their names were also on the account. Utilities may close the account, but they cannot chase survivors to collect money they never legally owe. This is where confusion and fear often creep in. Families already grieving might receive notices or calls implying they must pay to avoid damage to their credit or disruption of service. But a son or daughter is not responsible for mum's electric bill unless they voluntarily take over the account. Even then, they are responsible only moving forward, not for what was left behind. Think about Robert, a 79-year-old who spent his final years worrying that his children would be stuck with his overdue water bill. After speaking with a local attorney, he discovered that such worries were unnecessary. His family could simply notify the utility company of his passing, and the account would be closed without transferring the old balance. That knowledge eased his mind, allowing him to focus on more meaningful concerns like spending time with his grandchildren. For seniors on fixed incomes, it's vital to remember this. Basic services may cut off when payments stop, but the debts themselves end with you. No collector has the right to bind your family to what was yours alone. Let go of that worry. It's not yours to carry into the future. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thought. Growing older brings enough challenges without carrying the weight of debts you are not legally required to pay. From medical bills tied only to your name, to expired credit card balances, to private student loans that die with the co-signer, the law gives seniors more protection than many realize. Yet too often, older men and women continue to suffer silently, paying collectors who have no true claim or worrying endlessly about obligations that no longer exist. The most important truth is this: you have rights, and understanding them can free you from years of unnecessary stress. But beyond the legal side, there is an emotional freedom that comes with letting go. Many seniors stay awake at night, replaying old bills and past promises, believing they must sacrifice their health, their food, or even their medicine to pay debts that cannot be enforced. That is not the way you should live your later years. These years are meant for peace, dignity, and time with family. Knowing that certain debts are not yours to carry can give you back your independence and restore hope for a calmer future. So, as you reflect on these 6 debts, take a deep breath and remind yourself, not every bill that lands in your mailbox is yours to pay. By learning which debts can be legally walked away from, you reclaim control. And by freeing yourself from unnecessary burdens, you give more room to what truly matters: your health, your relationships, and the joy of your daily life. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.